Good day. You're welcome to another session on the Builders Chronicle, hosted by me, Awejan Emmanuel. Today, we want to talk about resilience, mental health, and business. All of this in one. And with it, we have a mental health and business oriented person. As a matter of fact, he is first of all a mental health specialist, and he's also into business. Best suits to give us more insight on the topic of today. So if this is something that you're interested in and want to know more, just stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. As I said, we have in our midst Mr. Stephen
Kube.
Mr. Stephen Kube. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me today on your podcast.
Yes, sir.
And it's a privilege to be here. And thank you for, first of all, reaching out to initiate the conversation on this crucial topic for discussion.
Definitely, sir. So I would like first of all to record our topic for today so that our audience don't get lost. So today we're talking about building mental worth, the psychology of resilience in business. So what do you think about this topic?
Well, rebuilding mental wealth.
Yes.
It's equivalent to rebuilding physical well-being.
Okay.
Because oftentimes we look at health only from the perspective of you get sick and you get well, and then you go through the hospital, probably get medication, and then it goes on and then it's out. But I think the first set of healing is, first of all, mental. And it means most of every other thing which comes to us, like if you think about it, when you are young as a child and your parents told you, if you don't eat well, you'll not get well better. You'll not get well quicker.
True.
And it's a fact in itself.
Okay.
But just because you tend to believe it more too, it equally plays a lot in the healing process.
It becomes more true.
More true.
Yes.
Because you affirm it and you accept it. And that acceptance in itself paves the path for wellness. So using just that simple example from the time when you were a child, we can equally relate it to it being one of the core cornerstones of well-being.
Okay.
Like, to be well in itself begins from the wellness in the mind.
Okay.
Most of our problems, like you see somebody suffering from anxiety,
yes,
because of work, for example, since we're talking about the topic of mental wellness in relation to entrepreneurs and persons who are into business,
yes,
and refining that wellness again. So for them, it would crux on how they deal with stress and anxiety as entrepreneurs,
okay,
or as business persons.
Yes.
Because that's just in itself plays on your mental well-being. It could show in itself in cases of inability to sleep.
Yes, a lot.
And definitely, maybe we'll talk more about it as we progress.
Exactly. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the insight. Now we'll just dive straight into our first question for the day. Is to tell us a little bit about your journey into mental health work.
Well, I believe my journey into mental health began as early as the first traumatic experience I ever had in my life, which was when I was still very young.
Okay.
I lost my mother at a very tender age. That in itself brought me so much distraught and dissonance in such a way I couldn't find a lot of balance in my life as a person. And it later on became the catalyst that I went through a bout of almost committing suicide as a result of that.
Oh, wow.
That was still pretty young. And later on, while carrying out humanitarian services, yes, you introduced me as a mental health specialist.
Yes.
But I'm more or less a humanitarian per se.
Okay.
And being a humanitarian and being a social entrepreneur in that direction,
yes,
it equally gives me the chance to be able to see firsthand the sufferings of other persons who are in a similar situation.
Okay.
Being a survivor and being someone who has healed from the process of that kind of deep level of hurt and depression and anxiety, I noticed it in many other persons in the community. And it got worse and is even getting worse within the wake of this sociopolitical crisis in Cameroon and Northwest and Southwest regions. and many other survivors who have moved out into rural regions after experiencing a very traumatic experience in their lives
And the fact
losing a loved
that
one.
adapt there, like
Thank
it's really
you.
how situations are.
So basically, that's just the background from where I saw the need to practice psychology, and then took up on a course on it. And it's been it which has paved the way for me into mental well-being and wellness, such that we can be able to bring back people to a state of mental well-being or wellness.
Very important.
Because the condition in itself is not mental health, because mental health means you're in good health, in sound mental health.
Okay.
So it is rather a disorder. And when you have a mental disorder, then we can then consider it as a problem. But mental health in itself talks about the well-being of the human person.
The human person.
Yes,
mentally.
mentally.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So now the next is it mental habits that helps entrepreneurs strive versus burnout. What are some of those mental habits that helps entrepreneurs to stand out and those that really damages them?
Well, I can think the first thing that happens with most entrepreneurs, if I'm shooting straight to the point, is that most entrepreneurs, be you a social entrepreneur, be you a full-time business entrepreneur, or you're into the corporate space, whatever it is that you're doing.
Yes.
Even if you're a non-profit, you're working for a non-profit, you're still an entrepreneur because you're still literally raising funds in order to help people.
Yes, to solve a problem.
To solve a problem. So in either way, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So be it in what sphere of entrepreneurship you are in, it's equally a platform where you need to be able to find the balance you need in order to heal and avoid burnout. It's very normal. For example, you wake up and you have this grand idea and you decide to start up a business with it. I can use you, for example. You started a studio, but you started the studio as a solo person. So we have the solo entrepreneur, solopreneurs as they call it, or the solo entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. They start off alone, but then later on discover that the workload is just too heavy for one person to do.
Yes.
And you literally can't take a break, because the day you take a break, your customers suffer.
Definitely.
And that's the disadvantage that happens with you working solo.
Yes.
And then in other cases, you find out too that either you may have had the idea, you wanted to work with the team, but from the very beginning, you can't find the right fit or the right set of people to work with. And you notice at the same time, you're on content creation alone, you're running the studio, you're the photographer, you're the videographer, you are everything all in one.
Yes.
It's enough to burn you out, because we are not machines.
Definitely. We need to rest.
We need rest.
Time for ourselves.
So it's the chance for you to decide for yourself whether you want to work as a machine, which you are not, or you are a human being, and you set proper boundaries in order to be able to be mentally well and physically well as such. Because from it, you start learning how to set boundaries, which are the first key things which you need to do. Learn to set boundaries. If your schedule, you have 8 hours of work, or let's say 8 hours of work, and in that 8 hours of work, you know that you can spare 1 or 2 hours for several activities, then those are the windows for which you give yourself. And if anything crops up within that time which is not within your reach to do, it's good enough to tell somebody, I cannot do it. I think we are always too quick to say, okay, we'll do it, and we over accommodate.
We always put ourselves in a position of solving
the problem.
Anything that comes in, I know we can solve it, can do it. Now, I have this question. What do you say about somewhere like an entrepreneur? When you're a starter, when you're starting, there's you have limited time, and you have a lot on your table. Given the fact that you're maybe short in terms of resource to hire a team to do it, especially when you're starting. Now, somebody that works for out of 24 hours, the person works for 16 hours. Like steady work for 16 hours in the office from 8 o'clock to 12 midnight. What do you say? Is it healthy?
Definitely not very healthy. Well, we have the idea of we have this notion that if you are building something, you just overclock it until you get to break through. Yes, it's good to put in the hard work and burn the midnight or once in a while, but it shouldn't become a habit. Remember, it takes 21 days to form a habit. So if you do that for consecutively 21 days, you're forming a habit which will literally be killing you.
Gradually over time.
gradually over time, to a point where you may probably need to go to the hospital for a checkup, and the doctor will tell you maybe you owe 15 years of sleep. Literally, that's what is happening to you if you have to continue working 16 hours a day without giving yourself proper time in between to really take ample rest. Now, if you take from 8 all to 12 midnight and you literally don't even have up to about a minimum of 6 hours of sleep to about 8 hours of sleep, man, trust the fact that you're saying 8 o'clock, you probably didn't wake up at 8 o'clock.
Of
You
course.
probably woke up at maybe 4 a.m.
Yes.
and
Just 6.
later 6 for some persons, and then they are there to transit from where they are moving to get to work, and then to start working where they work, and then leave work at 1 o'clock. By the time you're getting home, it's 1 a.m. and then you're literally resting for less than 2 hours, and then you're back again on the grind. It's not healthy.
I get.
It's not healthy, and that's the typical definition of burnout. You see it in most businesses, even in a business where you have a system of people working in it. If you do not have if you're understaffed and you don't have a lot of hands to equally manage the workload for the different persons, you notice that some particular staff on your team are overworked.
Yes.
And then consequently, over some time, they used to perform so well, but after some time, the productivity starts declining. That's as a result of burnout. And it happens to every entrepreneur at every given point in time, because you are the one who has the idea. You have the vision. You have the plan and the dream in order to move and then hit that goal and that target. But then you're stuck in that circle. If I don't do it, the thing is that problems never end. You can only solve as much as you can within a given time.
So you're advising your entrepreneurs to do everything but have time to rest.
And do everything, but make sure you have ample time for rest.
What was that ideal time that we say intense rest, like sleeping off, doing nothing, just resting? What is that ideal quantity of hours?
I think the ideal quantity of hours medically is 8 hours.
8 hours
of sleep? Yes.
Only to sleep?
To sleep. 8 hours.
I thought it was for a baby.
No, it's not for a baby only. In fact, the babies are doing the right thing. The reason why you see a child able to grow so well within a very short period of time is because they give themselves that time to rest, which allows growth to happen. Now, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to use that same example of the baby. If you want the growth of your business to happen, you need to be mentally fit to be able to handle it. And being mentally fit begins with you resting. So you can have all the problems. You're literally running 100 processes or even more, or even 1,000 processes in your head at the same time, because you're the same person ideating, you're the same person seeing the problem, you're the same person positing the solution. And then that's a whole lot of mental work which you're doing on its own, a whole lot of mental power burnt in just a very short period of about 8 hours, like we say. And then if you have to push it further by pulling the limit to 16 hours, like you said,
yes,
that's literally you burning twice as much the fuel in you. And the only way you refuel is through sleep.
I know that there's something, as long as it is not physical, you're not doing something that is feasible, they don't see it as work. The time that you take maybe to brainstorm is not considered work in a normal space.
In a normal context.
It's in a normal context. And we take a lot of that time to brainstorm. And the way we usually see is that it's my resting time. Whereas resting is supposed to be like off.
Intentionally, you switch off from every other thing and you focus just on that moment of rest. I like the way you say it. Our culture and our society has made it in such a way that you consider rest to simply mean you stopping one activity and then not being very physical or active. Work is mental most of the time. Most of our work is mental. I give the example for the African Union, maybe think tanks around the world. They literally pay people to think.
True.
And they don't pay cheap money.
No, they pay, yes, for that one.
Real good money.
Do it, yes.
So that's already something for you to understand, that if somebody is being paid to think, then you can imagine what quantity of energy they lose just in the thinking process. You literally burn out all the calories in your system and with all the energy in your system in order to carry out a simple mental process from ideating the concept to thinking through a solution and then looking at the different angles of the problem and positive solutions to those problems from this point. If this thing happens, then we do A. If A happens, we do B. If B does not go, then we try C. All of that takes a lot of energy, which we need to replenish. And that comes in not only with sleep. You need to make sure you eat well, and you also need to make sure you rest well.
Very important, very important. So now I getting now clear. Resting time is not thinking time.
It's not thinking time.
It's not reflection
separated.
time, yes. The reflection time is part of work time. Thinking is part of work time. I think I get it now, because what I usually do, and I believe most of my colleagues do, is that resting time we think. We try to analyze, to see more clear now, be like, okay, now I figure it out. Let's do it in this way. And we assume that we have rested while we're thinking. So it comes back to confirm what the teacher says, that the brain cannot do two things at the same time.
No.
It's one.
Can only focus on one at the same time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that, sir.
Thank you too.
All right, we'll go dive into the next now. Can resilience be built? What does the practice looks like? I talked about
Resilience. Resilience comes from the ability, your ability to be able to, I just use the word resilience. You can look at it, it simply looks like your ability to resist or withstand something for a longer period than the usual.
Okay.
Like, for example, if somebody knows that their tolerance for pain is at level 1, and level 1 could simply just be you touching the prick of a needle and is that painful. Some other persons has let's say level 2, they can literally prick their finger, and it's only until it is midway into the finger that they start feeling the pain. Then we can heighten it up to maybe say level 3 and level 4. It could literally pass through the finger and the person will still not feel like it's hurting.
Yes, the person
can still condole it. So we can put that as different levels or degrees to which you're able to resist something or to tolerate something as a whole. Now, when I use this word tolerate, if we look at it only from one perspective, it may equally look so nice that yes, you have the ability to resist pain, to resist hard work.
Yes.
But at the same time, what is your ability to also resist not doing too much work? That's where we have the balance. So resilience, it's a two-edged sword. On one side, it's the ability to be able to have developed that thick skin enough in order to be able to go through a process, and then you see it through to the end. Yes. And then on the opposite side is also how you balance out after you must have gone through that process. How much do you take in order to recuperate?
Okay.
It shouldn't just be on one side.
On like you must do. How can we stand say, okay, I'm stopping here for today. I need to go and rest.
You need to go and rest. And that simply means you need to learn how to manage your time. If in a day you know that you have 24 hours, give yourself 8 hours of rest in 24 hours. What are you left after 24? 16 hours. In that 16 hours, you know you have 8 hours of rest. You break those 8 hours of work rather.
Yes.
Make sure you give it that time for work. And then for the other 8 hours, you can have that for your workout. You can have that for other people. You can have that for family.
Social
life. Because we human persons are first of all social beings.
Yes. True.
And we equally tell stories. If you literally cut off the storytelling aspect of your life by sharing time with other people and accommodating other people's stories and sharing in their stories while you share your own stories, you're literally missing out on a very important factor that literally makes us live together.
Yes.
I like to use this statement. In our current generation, we are living together, yet alone.
The digital world has done a lot to it.
Thank you very much. So you literally see it. We could literally be sitting in the same room here and we're on the phone, but we are together in the same house.
We're just physically
present in this place, but mentally we are disconnected.
Exactly.
We are not there.
True.
So what happens as a result of that is that we tend to confuse the dopamine we receive from engaging with people far off rather than literally bonding with people which are in near proximity to us and which has the greater impact for our well-being more than you have for the persons who are far off. It's not like you don't get gratification, you don't have some form of well-being as a result of living with people, communicating with people separately. But the truth is that there is a tendency that you don't have the chemical connection which you receive as a result of sitting with someone, talking with them one-on-one. We could literally have this podcast online,
Sure.
but we will not have this connection we have right now.
Very
You and I having this eye contact and
Yes.
we're eyeballing each other, nodding at each other. There is a certain level of union that comes as a result of that,
true.
which
true,
also
very
helps
true.
us for our mental well-being.
Just a quick one. Have you ever had those beautiful moments in your life that were not captured? Worry not, Fexify Studios is your one-stop shop. We offer professional photo shoot, cinematic videography, event coverage, weddings, birthdays, among others, content creation, enlargement, top-tier equipment rentals, speakers, cameras, lighting, microphones, and MCs for your event. And guess what? We do have a space for your podcast and interview. And do not worry about the similarities of the background. According to the theme of your event, we could change the background from this to this to this and to any other background of your choice. Let us take care of your media needs. Contact us today.
Okay.
And it goes beyond that to also see that we are not only building resilience and tolerance for pain, but we are equally building resilience and tolerance too to accommodate each other when we live with each other.
We must learn to spend time with each other.
We must also learn to spend time with each other. And sometimes, even at work, you can decide to have an hour of recreation with the team. And you make sure, I've seen the most productive set of teams be the type that they have a time when they say it's break time and every other person needs to stop work and break.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's for them to go out, maybe have fun, have a meal together, then they come back. Their minds recharged, refocused. My late father used to define rest as change of activity.
total.
Yes, total change of activity.
Nothing concerns work.
So you focus on the work which you need to do right now, and then next you change the activity to get into an activity like, let me say, sports,
Yes.
physical exercise, which also builds your mental resilience. Some of us were talking about resilience for entrepreneurs too. You may not understand how physical exercise contributes to your resilience, but if you're able to toughen out for the 30-minute workout, that 30-minute workout can spill into your ability to go through a process that you wanted to do in your work that you will not be able to do.
Okay.
That 30 minutes can be translated to 30 minutes of focus time for you to do good work
True.
within your office. And that 30 minutes could be like the best of your entire day. So in one way or the other, several forms of activities which we do also build our resilience. I'll talk about exercise.
Okay.
I'll talk about setting boundaries. I'll talk about managing our time. And that's why we're splitting the time into the 24 into 3 halves,
Yes.
into 3 quadrants,
Yes.
quarters, such that we are able to have every piece for it, such that we work on one. But knowing that we have time for rest, we have time for socialization, and we equally have time for work.
Yes.
Because man in himself has dignity only as a result of the work that they do. Take away work for them, a good number of them feel like they're useless.
True. That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I'm learning a lot. I think there are some things that I have to start putting in place, especially the time of having time for rest. Time like it has gradually become a routine of closing at 12. And you cannot close at 12 and at 6 you are still sleeping. One way or the other, you are up.
True.
Whatever you are doing, but you are up. You are not still resting. And that is, it's a lot. Thank you for that, sir. Thank you for that. But it's a difficult thing.
And I don't say it's not difficult.
Yeah.
For myself, even telling you all of this, it's me knowing fully well the benefits of that rest. And that's why oftentimes I make sure there is a particular discipline that you have created for your own life.
Definitely.
I draw from my experience that I was a missionary for the missionary priesthood.
Okay.
And one of the key things which we used to learn in seminary was, which they taught in seminary very much, was that you develop a rhythm to life.
Okay.
A rhythm to life simply means setting times for rising, times for activity, time for work, time for prayer, time for study, time for meditation. And if you don't set those times for yourself, you notice that it becomes a difficulty. Have you ever asked yourself why in most orderly institutions, there are always things like bells, alarms, etc.? In the check, for example, you have All of that is to remind you for the need to pause,
And
stop,
do this other thing.
move on to
Yes.
the next thing. And the next activity you are moving into is the next activities that is preparing you to also receive a balance in your life. For us, it used to be wake up at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And that means you had to wake up at maybe 4:45, such that you're able to get to the chapel by 5 o'clock.
5, yes.
So by 5 o'clock, you should be at the chapel ready for prayer. And that was prayer time in the morning. And in that, you had 30 minutes of reflection before 30 minutes of mass or service.
Okay.
And that prepares you to start up your day on a good footing, knowing that you've had that vertical connection between yourself and God.
Yes.
Then you can then move on to the different aspect of your life, which now has to do with your physical work. But before you get to physical work, you have to eat.
Definitely.
You need to put in fuel.
Yes.
That fuel will carry you for the rest of your day. That's when we have breakfast together with everyone. And it always goes with the jingle of the bell, reminding us,
sociality, that being together.
you run together, you share in that meal together. And every other person leaves from there. And then we move on to the next activity, which is studies. We make sure we have studies for about 6 to 8 hours. Then we break, no, practically 6 hours, sometimes some days 8. But in between, you have an hour of break. And then you continue with the last 3 hours of the day. Then you then move in to coming back home. And then you have time for sports. Then you have time for labor. And then lastly, you have supper in the evening. And after supper, you have time for prayer again.
Okay, yes, for the priests, yes.
And late at 9 p.m., that's when we close out with the last set of evening prayers.
Okay.
And then 10 p.m., everyone is gone to bed because you have to be up at 5.
Definitely, you need to sleep.
So
you need to rest.
It happens like that. We develop a rhythm to life. And that rhythm to life gave us a certain sense of balance. I find it even still hard right now to dissociate myself from that rhythm. But many times when I've dissociated myself from that rhythm, I literally need to pay back the penalty for sleep, for the hours that I took away. Like the days I go to bed at 12, I know that I owe myself 2 extra hours of sleep.
Hours, yes, because you're supposed to go to bed at 10.
At 10, such that I'm able to rest well or not.
Yes. All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you a lot, sir. We're going to the next one. Next one is about one practical tool for managing stress. They're like, how do we go about managing stress? Because stress is a day-to-day thing that we face in every, like, from one minute to the other, there's one stress. How do we go about it?
Well, when it comes to managing stress, I like to use the simple technique which we use is breathing. It's a breathing exercise. How often do you ever really take note of your breathing? Like right now we are speaking, have you taken note of your breathing?
No.
Just take a moment and imagine that you're breathing. How do you feel? Just pause and imagine that process of breathing.
A cool thing.
It's a cool thing. In that moment, did you think about any other thing?
No.
You were thinking about
the breath, how
the breath
taking in,
going out.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Literally, the solution to stress and anxiety is your ability to also pause and then disconnect from all the other things that are bringing you the stress.
Okay.
Yes, you have bills to pay.
Yes.
Yes, you have employees to pay.
Yes.
Yes, you have a tight deadline for some other person to come pick up their work, and probably you've not even started. Meanwhile, you've given them the time you're going to deliver.
Yes.
And you have practically less than a few hours to do all of that.
Yes.
But if you clock in and you keep overclocking, you're going to burn.
True.
So how do you manage all of that stress? Take a moment, you pause.
Okay.
And you just breathe. That's the first. And once you take that moment of pausing, and oftentimes I like to do it in this position.
Okay.
Because once I take this position and I close my eyes, and whatsoever is going through with me, I simply close my eyes. I take in a deep breath. I hold it. And then I exhale gradually. Through that process, you notice in the deflation of your abdomen, taking air again, breathing, hold it, Hold it. Exhale gradually. And as you exhale, you feel the tension and the anxiety also flowing and leaving you in that breath, the outward
Yes.
breath.
Yes.
That's just the first exercise that I get to do.
Okay.
And that has to do with my sense of smell, my sense of me breathing and feeling, my sense of touch or feeling.
Yes.
Now, I imagine that my hands, where are my hands rested? On my laps.
Yes.
So I try to feel where my hands are rested. Is the surface rough? Is it smooth? And I'm processing all of those together in my thoughts. It keeps me calmer. The next thing which you're thinking about is your sense of smell or smell. What does it smell like in this space?
Can you perceive anything?
Can you perceive any smell in this place? How does it feel? Does it smell good? Does it feel like it's aromatic? Does it feel like you're perceiving the smell of chemicals, probably from printing
Yes.
or ink or something of that sort? Because that's the smell I'm perceiving from this space right now.
Okay.
And then I can then switch to my sense of hearing.
Yes.
What do I hear? What do you hear?
Yes.
I know you hear my voice.
Yes, I get your voice.
Okay, what else?
AC.
The AC.
The fan from the AC.
Mm-hmm. And if you listen closely again, you should be able to hear the buzzing of electricity passing through the different lighting that is making this place lighted up.
Wow.
If you listen well enough, you should be able to pick up that sound. It's a buzzing, consistent sound. It buzzes. That's electrons.
Okay.
Now, you will not be able to develop all of those if you've not been doing any one of this.
Of course.
But in that moment when I was talking about all of these things, your sense of taste, your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, your sense of touch, did you for a moment think about your problems?
No. Not at all.
You were thinking about all of these other things, right?
Yes.
That is the value of being here and now in the moment. Those problems are within you, but the only thing you can control is how you react to them.
Definitely.
And the first reaction to them is also centering yourself and grounding yourself. So what we have simply done here is a simple grounding exercise which we use for managing stress.
And is it is it related to meditation? Because I was going through some reasons, some steps, some stuff to do in meditation, and it has a lot to do with what you just said, like close your eye, focusing on your breath to the point that you even get the way your heart is beating. When you focus on hearing, you get the sound of your heart
Beating.
actually beating, and I could actually get to that level. I was actually getting my heart beating, getting the sound of it beating. I wonder, is it the same concept being applied in meditation?
It's the same concept applied in meditation, because the essence of meditation is to bring you to that point where you're able to block out all the noise.
Yes, all the external energy.
All the external noise and the things that distract you, to bring you back to yourself internally. Remember, we're talking about mental well-being for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Oftentimes we focus more about what we would do in order to help every other person.
True.
But what do you do in order to help yourself?
Yes.
Meditation. My late father used to wake up every day at 4 a.m. and he could literally just sit down for an hour till 5 a.m. before he is waking us up to go to church. And it was a practice every day. Church was routine for us. We had to go to church every day in the morning.
Okay.
That's the case for being Catholic and growing up in a typical Catholic home.
Yes.
So church is daily. And every day at 4 a.m., him waking up at that time was equally a chance for him to practice meditation. And it's equally another way to also balance himself before he's getting out into the world. He's giving himself that time to internalize and feel what he needs to feel, process the thoughts he needs to process, answer the questions which he needs to answer for himself before he steps out to giving out to the world. That for about 30 minutes, and then he takes a book and then he reads through that book. By the time it's 5, he stops. Then he can get up now to start walking around to ask us to prepare for church, and then it's 5:30, we are off already.
Very disciplined lifestyle.
So that same amount of discipline is the same amount of discipline every entrepreneur needs.
Okay.
Make sure in every day as an entrepreneur, you have at least an hour which you spend with yourself.
And that's something that we neglect a lot.
Yeah.
We neglect a lot. We just immediately get up. It's a problem that you need to solve. People you need to
We are
follow up.
rushing.
You have to do. But little do you sit back to reflect on yourself, think about yourself, position yourself in that ability, that capacity to handle the day. That's something that we really need a lot of sensitization on.
We need a lot of sensitization, and permit me also mention this too.
Yes, please.
You cannot give what you don't have.
Sure.
So as an entrepreneur, you're providing solutions.
Yes.
But the first solution which you have to give is a solution to yourself.
Answer.
First of all, finding out your own purpose. I can ask most entrepreneurs, a good number of them will probably not even know what their purpose is. They just know they are solving a problem, and that problem to them, maybe some of them may turn it into, yes, that's my purpose.
That's their purpose.
But essentially, as a human person, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? And you can only answer those questions when you are seated alone with yourself. It's no mistake that this was written in front of the Oracle of Delphi, where we made the statement, man, know thyself.
Yes.
That's what the ancient Greeks used to speak of. Man, know thyself. And I like to think about it way back as into the time when this was even taken away from Egypt, from the Egyptian schools, because this is not something essentially Greek in itself. It's something essentially African, essentially Egyptian. To know yourself is the beginning of all wisdom.
True.
And you can only know yourself from that 1 hour that you decide to give yourself. You must not start with 1 hour, start with 15 minutes of daily reflection. 10 minutes of daily reflection, you increase it to 15 minutes. Over time, try it for 21 days.
Make it a routine.
Make it a routine. After 21 days, trust me, you must have already developed a habit as a result of just simply sitting down for those 21 days, doing that same thing over and over. And then you can then increase the immensity of the hours or the time which you put for that exercise.
Okay.
That exercise would help you to ground yourself first.
Okay.
Will help you to also plan your day way better for your own self before you're even stepping out.
True.
And then it will equally help you to also look at some of the things which you slept on in the night that needed to be addressed. Probably in that moment of thinking and in that moment of reflection, that's when that solution comes to you.
Very true. Very true.
And then you'll find out the next thing which you need to do. That's you refueling yourself and making yourself ready to take on the task of the day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, moving ahead with the last but not the least. There are many other things, but every session needs to have a timing. Now, your message to who think therapy is for weak people.
I'll repeat this again and again and again. Therapy is actually for the strong. If you're not strong enough, you'll never admit that you need therapy. The weak persons are the ones who admit that I don't need therapy. Literally, I've flipped the script, right? Some other person said maybe therapy is for the weak, but now I'm flipping the script. Therapy is rather for the strong. It's only someone who is consciously aware of their need for something that admits that they want that thing.
And it takes a lot to get to that state.
It takes a lot.
Accept that I lack this, I need it.
I need it. And then you seek out help. I think our greatest problem as entrepreneurs is that we are too prone to fixing or making solutions or providing solutions.
Yes.
That we rarely ever see the need for ourselves to ask for help or ask for a solution.
True.
So therapy is the solution we equally need. Sometimes we don't need to make therapy too formal.
Okay.
Before it becomes therapy. Therapy could simply just be cutting off from work, going back home, and being present with your children.
Okay.
Just being present with your children.
Okay.
It's a huge therapy on its own.
Spend that family time.
Spend that time with them.
Okay.
Therapy too could also mean you taking a break from work, treating yourself to a good meal, which is balanced, rather than just grabbing any shawarma by the side of the road
yeah.
and going.
We need to make it fast. We have
other things to catch up with. And that's why I'm saying therapy can also mean this.
Okay.
Taking out time to have a good meal, and not just a good meal, but a balanced diet. And you must not eat till you're full. When you eat and you start feeling you're full, know that you're already full.
Okay.
So you eat well, and then therapy could also mean stopping and giving yourself your required 8 hours of rest. That's the first form of therapy you can take before you're looking at external therapy, which now becomes the one where you know that you need help because you literally just can't do it on your own.
You can't handle it all.
You can then move out to a professional at that time. And the professional therapist at the time, who may be a psychologist or a mental health expert,
yes,
they can be there to help you just speak or share your worries.
Okay.
Our greatest worry too, our greatest problem is that we are living in a society where we don't even trust people well enough to open up to share to them our problems and challenges. And sometimes maybe going to therapy also gives you the chance to be able to hear yourself talk about those things that you think in your mind that they are a problem. Because we oftentimes think about something and then we blow it out of proportion just by thinking about it. But then when you start versing out that thing to another person, maybe the professional during therapy, that's literally what you're paying for. You're paying some other person to have that person listen to you. And it's not only the person listening to you, but it's also to allow that person listen to you to give you the chance to also listen to yourself.
True.
So that when you listen to yourself, you can even see how stupid you even thought about that thing, which you thought it was so huge a problem, to be so small. And probably the therapist will probably just have to walk you through the whole process of helping you understand your thought patterns, how you think. The therapist may also walk you through the process of helping you place your finger on where the problem is coming from by pushing you to ask the questions that you would usually not ask yourself.
Yes, answer the right critical questions.
Yes, so they ask you the right questions in order for you to answer. And in the process of answering, you discover yourself and then you heal as a result of that. So therapy in itself is a process of self-discovery.
Oh.
It's a process of self-discovery, such that you can know yourself. It brings us back to the same statement which I made over.
Know your purpose.
Man, know thyself. So if you don't know yourself, you're wasting your time.
I think that one is a very big one. That part of knowing your purpose. Like, do you truly know who you are, what you're out for? What is that thing that you feel fulfilled whenever you're working towards?
Yeah.
And we tend to console ourselves with what we do to earn a living. That is my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because every day we find ourselves into it, doing it over and over. Which is wrong, because we actually need time to take for our own self to be like, okay, what is truly my purpose? What is that thing that truly gives me joy, gives me fulfillment? And it's a very difficult thing for many young Africans because truly don't know our purpose.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to sensitize a lot about it. Take time to reflect, because your purpose might just be beside you, but you are chasing something else wrong. Not actually wrong, but good, but ignoring really the true things that gives you joy, inner joy, like we can say, because purpose must not necessarily return with finance. What it is that thing, for what I think, what I believe, maybe you tell me from your own side, is that thing that you do that gives you that inner joy. Somebody can be like, I just want to see another young person making it in life, that I've contributed to that person to make it in life, like I've empowered that person and that person is making it in life today. There I find my purpose, I find inner joy. What do you say? Is that true?
That is true. And I like that you use particular words which I oftentimes want to push people to think beyond just the word.
Okay.
We use the word empower in order to, as a blanket word that covers up so many things.
True.
Yes, you want to empower people. For my own self, yes, I want to empower people. But how do I empower people? I have to change that word empower to actually capture what particular type of empowerment I'm talking about.
Okay.
For my own self, my own purpose in life is to help other people find meaning and purpose in their lives.
All right.
And I have as a plan for 15 years, my 15-year plan is to empower or to help 750 people find meaning and purpose in their lives. And that means in every year, I have to work with 50 people
Yes.
over a period of,
Of
15 years. That makes it 750.
Do you already have the 50 people for this year so I can subscribe, you know?
I have currently, based on my indicators so far collected, I have a total of 37 this year already.
Okay, then I need to come and get it, so it should be 38. Yes, along the line. All right, so thank you for coming, sir. It has been a really insightful session, especially for me. I've learned a lot because I come from that angle of you can do it. You don't need somebody. Therapy. It's not going to pay somebody to talk to that person. Okay, just sit and talk to me, then you go. It's okay. So we actually miss it, and like we said, therapy is meant for the strong, but because it takes a lot to get to that state of I need help.
I need help admitting it.
Yes, and I acknowledge it and I go for the help. Because at times we even need help. We know that we need help, but our ego keeps it down. But acknowledging and going for the help, it actually means a lot. And I've learned that today. Thank you. So now, how can someone get to you?
Basically, to get to me for assistance or help.
Maybe for assistance, for help, for connection, like somebody that just want to be in your circle.
Well, I do have several channels which anyone who is interested in getting to meet me, talk with me, can often reach out to.
Okay.
I have a WhatsApp channel, I have a LinkedIn account, I have a Facebook page, I have I'm literally most of the social media, X, likewise, Facebook.
Maybe you could just give them something that they
can use. So
yes,
they can simply look up Stephen Kube. Stephen as with PH and then Kube as KUBE, and they can be able to reach me through that. Or they can simply use the number 670 39 91 91 to reach me for any service in relation to either mental health or well-being or organizational development for the persons who are social entrepreneurs who need help to build up their organizations and the systems that they need to put in place in order to help them work or function as a team.
Okay.
So that even without them, the system works.
Definitely.
So all of those are the key things which we provide in our package. And through my organization, Family World International, which is www.fawoi.org, that is FAWOI.org.
Okay.
You can literally reach us out there and then connect with us via our email or social number, which you'll find on the website, and I'll be sure to still get back to you for assistance.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, too.
So I believe you got us. And if there's one thing I will go back with you today, I don't know about you, is the fact that therapy is for the strong, because it takes a lot to accept, acknowledge, and go for help. So then, stay focused.